Hey everybody, it's Lanissa
Hi.
Brantley coming at you with another episode of What's Hot, What's Not. And today, what's hot is pre-call planning. Know where you're going to go. And
Yeah, having a plan
why,
is good.
what?
Having a plan is good.
Having a plan is good. So the old saying, those who fail to plan to fail, that is the case in the physician liaison world as well. So know where you're going to go, have your plan ahead of time, know what you're going to talk about, know who you're going to talk to, kind of have your plan, have your ideas together. Because when you don't, that's when things kind of fall off the rails and you're just wandering around aimlessly and you're not as effective as you could be. So I know we've all been guilty of getting busy and not doing our pre-call plan, rushing in the car and just getting out there and thinking that we have it all together. We know what we're doing. We know our territory. We know our offices. We're just going to drive around to some offices. And you can pull that off for a while, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple of weeks, but that eventually is going to catch up with you. So Kate,
hmm
tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I am wing it girl by nature, so this one's kind of hard for me. It goes against my um natural way, but I have been victim of failing when I failed to plan because I knew where the area I was going to go to. I've been calling on these offices for 5 years. I got this. And if I had looked at my notes from the previous week, month there, I would have noticed I was supposed to bring certain materials to one office. Didn't look, showed up. Hey, do you have that XYZ we asked for? I'm like, no. So, really looking back on what you committed to, looking back, and it doesn't have to be long, taking a brief look through, okay, I'm going to be in this area. What did I do the last time I was in this area? What am I going to build on that? Like you said, knowing what you're going to talk about. Because otherwise, you become a broken record sometimes to your offices. You don't remember that you talked about that last time or what have you. So, really, I have felt pain of not planning. It is so much easier to just have that list ready to go and you just cross them off and it gives you that sense of accomplishment. So take the time, even if you're not a planner by nature, figure out a way to do it that makes you happy, works for you. Some people are hyper color coded, you know, labels and hiders and all this thing. Make it work for you. So for me, it was a simple geographical list. What did you used to do, Lanissa?
I am the same. I am super old school, geographical list on a Word document, cut and paste it every week. I had my big master list. I cut and paste each, city I wanted to go to
Mhm.
each day. And then I'm still a pen and paper girl because for me, my brain thinks better that way. So print it out. Like you said, cross it off when you're
Mhm.
done. I love to see that crossed off that I went to that office. And it was super easy for me to just make a little note in my CRM and then even also on the paper of, anything that happened that was noteworthy. And so it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, I would recommend that you don't overcomplicate it because then you're going to take too much time. And so
Right.
keep it simple. And two, like the days of MapQuest, the days of having to look every office up on MapQuest and printing out, directions or having a maps go for those of you who ever lived in Texas and had the big book of maps. I'm really dating myself here. Those days are
I'm like, what?
okay. So I'm really dating myself here, but those days are over, thankfully. So there's super simple apps now like Root for Me or Badger Maps too that can help you do all this at the click of a button. And so I recommend too, if you're not a big planner, use one of those because it's super simple, super quick. But pre-call planning, that's what's hot. What's not hot is no plan. Failing to plan, planning to fail. Oh, we lost you. There she's
Oh,
back.
boo.
You're back. But definitely have your plan. Uh,
Yes.
do you want to tell us a little story about failing to plan? I mean, I know you kind of shared a personal anecdote, but do you have anything to add on planning to
You
fail?
know,
What am
when you
I'm
fail,
planning. Those who fail to plan to fail. I keep
but
saying it
but
backwards.
yeah, I know. It's weird that we can't say it even though we've seen it on every single motivational poster ever since like third grade. I've seen that. quote. But yeah, so it really discombobulates you when you don't have a clear sense of where you're going. And it makes it hard to coordinate those efforts that can take it next level. Like, you know, in the referral network, they have a patient that went to the clinic, the practice while you were out in the field, and XYZ happened with that patient. And you're hearing from the office, hey, we need to talk to Dr. So-and-so about this patient, right? Where are you going to go there today? Or like, when are you going to see them? And if you don't really know, it can make it feel like you have to drop everything and do something, you know, go to that office right this second. Mm-hmm. But if you know, like, oh, that's no problem, I'm seeing them tomorrow, or, you know, you can really prioritize, and it compounds the efforts of going on in the clinic and what you might, information you need out to doctors. And it helps your place of work kind of know what you're doing too, and they can coordinate the efforts as well. So honestly, that paper list, it's so simple. It's so easy. And if you don't get to something one day, you just copy paste them onto the next day, you know, whatever you might need to do. That worked for me too. Simple list, print it out. You can star somebody if, you know, you need to check on something for them. Scrabble your notes all over it. It really just, it helps further your efforts plan. You can wing it for so long, like you said, but the numbers will show it. And honestly, you'll feel like a hamster on a wheel. You just don't have a grasp of what you're doing on a day basis. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you, Kate, 9 times out of 10, when a good, hardworking rep, when their numbers flatline or decline, 9 times out of 10, it's because they've stopped following their plan. Because what happens is they do exactly what you said. They go to just kind of wherever the phone calls are, or they go to wherever they have a good relationship, or they just get out there and wing it. And then they're not being efficient with their time. They're going from here to here to here to here, and, you know, not kind of staying geographically in an area. And what eventually happens is it does catch up with you, and it shows up in the numbers. Mm-hmm. And so what is hot is planning, pre-call planning. What is not hot is failing to plan so that you plan to fail. So if you want to learn more, check us out at lb.solutions. Until next time, see you later.